Welcome back to the last day of the Tottenham on Tour world famous advent calendar. The last day, day 24. Ryan and I, Mr. Daigle that is, because we've got two Brians today. We're both exhausted.
We're all Brian today.
Yeah.
We're all Brian today.
I'm Brian.
No, I'm Brian. And so is my wife.
We're Spartacus. But today, it's been a great Christmas season. We're all having a laugh. It's that period of the month where we're all chilling out. We're all starting to get off work. It's a good time, isn't it, today, Ghoul?
It is. Merry Christmas to everyone. And Ben, you and I, we've made it 24 days
We've done 25
of this.
Free.
Yeah, I never want to hear a Christmas cracker joke again after this. If anyone ever says to me, listen, do you want to come on the show? We're going to talk about 5 players. I'd be like, nope. But we've done it. We've had a lot of fun doing it. But man, it's been a lot more work than we thought.
Yeah, it's been a slogger. Joining us today, firstly, is Mr. Ireland, the chief creator, really, of the Advent calendar, because he's done all the background, the music and stuff like that. How are you doing today, Mr. Ireland?
I'm doing well, mate. I'm doing well, guys. It's been a tough week. I've been very ill, as I mentioned to you guys. But I'm pushing through it, so I'm feeling a little bit better now. I am happy to be having some time off. Went and saw my son a couple days ago, which was really nice to do. I'm looking forward to the Christmas cracker joke. I'm a little nervous that it's already been done. So I haven't watched every Advent calendar. I've watched some of them, but I haven't watched all of them. So I might repeat. So if I repeat the Christmas cracker joke and you guys guess it, I'm sorry.
The rule is if you repeat, you have to do a forfeit.
Really?
No, I'm not down with that. I'm not down with that.
No, I'm not.
Well, not being down with that it invites a forfeit.
Yeah.
No.
Joining the two Brians and I are Rez and Kymba.
Yeah.
What's happening?
Yeah. All good. Cheers, babe. Yeah, all good. Just building up to the big day.
Yeah.
Christmas,
All right.
not a wedding.
Yeah.
So just quickly while we're here, we've got something we're going to announce at the end of the show. Make sure you hang on with us until we get to the end. It's a big,
so I can't go early.
big announcement. No, we're going to wait. We're going to save it to the end. Save your load until the end, Rez.
Yeah, that's it. No premature ejaculation on this.
No, we try not to.
No, absolutely not. But it is the Tottenham on Tour world famous advent calendar. And how do we start it? With a Christmas cracker joke. And of course, our guest, Kim. What is your Christmas cracker joke? Do you have a combined one? Do you have one each? What is this?
I think we have one each.
Yeah, I've got to apologise because it is in the spirit of a typical Christmas cracker joke in that it's rubbish.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, wait, ready? What do you get if you cross Dracula with a snowman?
Frostbite.
Hey,
You've
heard that one before. Somebody already did it.
I want you
No.
Mate, not only has someone done it, Brian, but do you know how many websites I've gone through trying to find different cracker jokes? Ben and I may have said and heard a few. We have seen 10 times more than we've heard. That's how much work has gone into this. But Rez, what's your one?
How does good King Wenceslas like his pizza?
With jam in.
No idea.
Well, I can tell you one thing. We have not had that one.
Yeah, that's a new one.
So go on.
Ready? Deep pan, crisp and even.
Yeah. Oh God.
Actually, do you know what? Now you say that, I think I may have said that on one of the first days.
No, you didn't.
No, now I know the punchline. I might go back and watch just the jokes. I think I'm. Who get? It's still a great one. It's still a great one. Ireland.
All right, so mine is. This is clever, by the way. It's very good. What do you call a boomerang that does not come back?
I knew this joke before it came out.
Why was the turkey in the pop group?
That I don't know.
Because no one could find a chicken.
Yeah.
Try something to do with drumstick. Something to do with drumstick.
Oh, because he
That one, I did that one.
What do you? I'm just gonna read a list here until we get.
Yeah.
There we go.
No,
Do them all,
won't.
just
I
so
won't
no
go
one
through
can ever
everybody.
tell
Yeah,
one
no.
again.
It's
Ever.
not
Just
fair.
split.
It's not
All right, here we go. I'll drop my one. What falls to the North Pole but never gets hurt?
Snow.
No.
Oh, fuck off.
Informer, you know the day song we gonna play. A little boom boom down.
There you go.
Snow. Canadian.
Ben, you've got to save it. You've got to save this.
Come on, save Christmas, Ben.
What kind of cars do elves like to drive?
Hold on, I know this one.
It's not an Audi TT Quattro.
Toyota. A
Toyota. Oh yeah. it's
Toyota.
Oh, very good. Very, very good, Ben. You did save it. You did save it.
Christmas. Christmas.
You did. You did. So, right. Let's get into Advent calendar. Let's get into. I want to say all the goodness. But there isn't really a lot of goodness here.
24 is the best. It's
24
like the end of the
was
squad, right? The squad number. It's like the edge of like barely making the squad. If you're
It
24.
is, and we're going to start with a classic. And I want to thank this man for coming out of the closet. Not the closet that we're all associated with.
Yeah, be very careful with that.
I want to say for coming out of the Levy out closet and being one of the players that speak the truth. Ben Ramon Vega.
I don't remember anything about him except that he's Levy out, so he's exactly like the flag of which country he comes from. He is a big plus in my book.
I should have done that joke.
I've never seen him play. All I know is he won a League Cup in 1999 when I was 4 years old. What a guy. He's Little K's best mate because I love Little K.
These young people these days, they're so young, aren't they?
Whippersnappers.
Yeah.
It's the world's youngest man.
Yeah.
Plus, big plus Ramon Vega, just like the Swiss flag.
Yeah.
Who are you going to, Ben?
Let's go to Mr. Ireland. Let's go to you, Mr. Ireland.
Yeah, I don't know too much about Ramon Vega. I did a bit of research. I know we got him for $3.5 million in 1997, which seems like a lot of money for a player of his ilk. I mean, he was a good player as far as I know, but I think he got injured after a little while and ended up not being able to get back to his previous form. But yeah, I mean, I see him on Twitter all the time, so that's fun. He's very active. He's very active in the community, and he's a player that is one of the fans as well. So he seems like a great guy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey.
Kim and Rez, take this where you want to go with Ramon Vega.
Okay, so I was never particularly in love with Ramon Vega. He's one of those players that I used to hate seeing his name on the team sheet. You know what I mean, boys?
Like Eric Dyer before Eric Dyer.
Yeah. I don't tend to hate Spurs players, but there's some that just fill me with cold dread or a bit of disappointment. You just suck all the wind out of you. He was one of those. And didn't he, on his debut game, didn't he give away a penalty and get sent off?
Yes, he did.
Yeah,
well.
Yeah, that's my overriding memory of him. However, to flip the script a bit, he did give plenty of his time to 3 Spurs boys and other Spurs channels, and he was a superstar on there. And what a dude! And it completely reversed my opinion.
Yeah, community guy, right?
Ramon Vega.
Little K's best mate. Little K's best mate. Rez.
I mean, what can you say about Ramon Vega?
He's Little K's best mate.
He's Swiss.
Yeah.
He's Swiss. You know he's going to lose.
Ramon Vega.
Ramon Vega.
No, I didn't. Again, he didn't really impact on me all that much as a Spurs player because it was sort of like just at that point where I was beginning to become a bit more serious about it. That he was there, and then again, I've heard the stories. Wasn't the best defender and all of that stuff, but again, for me, I give him props.
His heart's always been in the right place.
Yeah, and especially for actually speaking out about the situation at the club and not being frightened of speaking his mind. Whether you agree with him or not, the fact of the matter is he speaks his truth and doesn't sanitize it and put it through some corporate filter because they're terrified of losing some position or some.
It's nice to someone knows what he thinks, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, good on him for that.
Yourself,
got nothing to say, nothing bad to say about him at all.
Mr. Daigle.
Well, it did get mentioned, and it's glaring on the banner. He's in our elusive club, Ben. He's won a trophy, so you can't say you can't. A lot of this, as we've seen, where we've got into the squad number era, which started end of Sugar, beginning of a certain person.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, the amount of trophies we've been discussing in the second half of this has plummeted. And that was kind of some of what we're trying to highlight subliminally. Player, nothing much. Went to Celtic, Watford, whatever. But as you said, I've spoken to him numerous times on Twitter. He's been on a couple of spaces. A really nice guy. Hopefully will be appearing on the channel in 2024. It was going to be 2023, but things happened that he couldn't. And thank you for actually speaking out about this football club and its ownership and having the balls to not worry about losing credibility or not getting tickets and actually speaking on how you think you should feel. So another person that speaks quite openly about where the club is and what they're doing and a certain Harry Kane story is this man, player, manager, Tim Sherwood. Ben.
Manager, really?
I don't really.
I know.
Just like Ramon Vega.
He tried.
Just like Ramon Vega, I don't remember any sort of time that he played at Tottenham. All I remember is he was cup tied for the League Cup final of '99. So that is why he doesn't have a trophy in his name, because he didn't actually play in the final. I remember him as a manager, and he was the guy that gave possibly our greatest ever striker, possibly his debut, which was Harry Kane. He gave Harry Kane his debut. He played loads of young players. And forget the players he played. He wore an awesome gilet, which is the only thing anyone He wore a gilet.
You look good in that gilet, for sure.
He was a terrible coach. He played 4-4-2 like Mike Bassett. We went up to Man United. I sat in that away end, and Emmanuel Adebayor scored to win us the game. He was an awful manager. 4-4-2 was Tim Sherwood. I have absolutely no memory of it except for him giving the salute to Adebayor. What a terrible manager he was. But he gave Harry Kane his debut, which deserves a lot of respect. He played when there was a lot of idiots in that squad that didn't want to play for the badge. He played Ryan Mason. He played the Bill Bentaleb. He played Harry Kane.
That was Poch.
No,
Harry Kane is him.
No, Bentaleb was playing for the team under Tim Sherwood.
Okay.
He gave them 3 their debuts, and they did very well under Tim Sherwood. But as a manager, totally rubbish. Ireland. What's your Sherwood?
My memories are of him as a player the same as yours. I don't know much about him at all, other than the cup tie that he wasn't able to play in. As a manager, agreed. I think what he did do very well is he was a youth manager and was promoted from that youth manager to get into the first team manager. And I think that is where the bringing the youth through came when he became the manager. So he started doing that because he knew a lot of those players and he knew how he could trust them and get them to play, arguably, or try to get them to play the way he wanted to. But yeah, not a good manager, but given Kane his debut and managing a really crappy situation with a crap team, I think he did okay considering. But yeah, he should never manage any club ever again.
Really? He worked with Harry Redknapp. He was a good director of football for Harry Redknapp. He brought in a few very decent.
He did
players.
okay. He has some good things that he did in the background. He shouldn't be a coach though. He's not a coach for me. But yeah, nothing really awful to say about the guy. I can't stand him listening to him talk when he's a pundit. Other than that, he's fine.
Yeah.
Lovely guy. When he opens
just
his
don't
mouth. Yeah, just don't talk. Just be
I
a
don't mind him. I think he's all right, apart from the fact that he's really objectionable. But other than that, he's great.
His voice is really hard to listen to, but other than that, he's fine.
Yeah.
You know what, Moussa Dembele? You could be playing for Real Madrid, you can.
Rez and Kim.
Yeah, I just okay. When we got Tim Sherwood, see, I do remember him a bit better than the one that I've forgotten. When we got him, bear in mind, this guy's a Premier League title winner.
He is.
Right? He was captain of that Blackburn team that won the league. So when he came, I thought, yeah, we're getting a winner, we're getting a battler. And he had a reputation for being, a bit tasty in the middle of the park. But he didn't really do very much per se. I mean, 90-odd games. It's not a bad return, 4 or 5 years or however long he was there. But, yeah, that side was not pulling up any trees anyway. Tim Sherwood as a manager was... I think it really does sum it up in the fact that he was the one who pulled a fan out of the stands and put him in the dugout and gave him his gilet to wear. In I think it was the last game of the season.
I've totally forgotten about that.
Yeah, that's what I was checking on my phone. He's like, did that actually happen? So I went back and checked it.
Yeah.
And it did. To be fair, he's, and I don't mean this in a nasty way to the person that I'm going to compare him to. He strikes me when he does punditry as the Scott M of football punditry. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love Scott.
Yeah,
I'm not dissing Scott. No, I'm not dissing Scott. I love Scott, but he's not the most positive person, right? That's his choice. I'm not going to judge him for that, but it's a little bit sort of, oh, come on. There are some good things you could talk about, Tim. And so, yeah, that's my abiding feeling about Tim Sherwood, basically.
Kymba?
Yeah, so taking aside what you said about the Harry Kane being given his start by Mr. Sherwood, my mum, when I was a little girl, used to say, if you've not got anything nice to say about someone, don't say anything.
Mm-hmm.
My mum said that as well. Yeah. So she's silent. There you go.
Big up, Iris. Big up, Iris.
You got, Mum.
I never thought I would hear Scott M be called the Tim Sherwood of Spurs YouTube.
No. Tim Sherwood is the Scott M of football punditry. There's a difference.
It's the other way around. It works both ways.
You can go both directions, I think. Yeah.
No, because I think that Scott M. I reckon Scott M is a competent, knowledgeable, interesting, engaging individual. So calling him the Tim Sherwood of YouTube stream chat areas is terrible. Whereas the other way it does work, you see.
Mr. Daigle, what's your...
Yeah, listen, I'll be very quick with Tim Sherwood. First of all, I swear to God, during his managerial career, the way he looked, if you put a pencil behind his ear, you'd think he's a decorator. That's the look he had, more of a decorator look. You'd expect him to come around and quote you to do the wallpaper around your house and maybe look at paint outside. As a player,
he'd start every press conference with, "It will cost you."
Yeah. I mean, he scored in a North London derby that I was at, a free kick. He weren't that bad as a player. He was actually a good player. I liked him as a player. Manager, listen, he was a bad manager, but just like I did with Vega, you've got to remember this is probably the first manager that came out in a press conference and absolutely tore Levy to shreds. And the team against Chelsea when we lost 4-1, and he tore the team and Levy to absolute shreds. And probably the first manager we've had in this whole entire ownership that have had the balls to say anything about them. So fair play for that. Your actual managerial was doomed for failure because Poch was coming in. You weren't going to be given January to buy players. It was just get us through. He weren't a good manager anyway, but he was doomed for failure. Okay, the next two we're going to...
You got to give him props actually, because Levy didn't want to sign him as a permanent manager, just as a caretaker, and he beat him down to giving him a 2-year contract.
That's true.
So you get a payout when he was sacked. So you got to give him props.
Yeah, you do. But the next two players, I swear we're going to fly through. Because there's the last one we can talk about, and I swear to God, Ben and I have done 5 players a day for 24 days. What's that? Roughly 120 players. We've had to listen to over 120 jokes, and that's nowhere near the amount of stepovers that this guy would do in a game. So I give you everyone the legend. Everyone was wondering where I was going with that.
Timothy played 18 games for us.
Yeah, I mean, we'll go to Ben, but this guy had more stepovers in the game than appearances.
He had the best trick in the book. He was the guy that invented the Ronaldo chop before Ronaldo was even a football player. He'd get the ball, like no one was pressuring him, and he would flick it behind himself to another player. He was absolutely shite. That's being nice to him. He was absolutely awful. Yeah, this was in my fledgling years of supporting Tottenham, really, of having to watch that horrible side. He was awful, shocking, diabolical, awful. Like, whenever my family has a joke about a bad football player, it's like, oh, who are we going to play today? Timothy Atuba? We still joke about him now. That's how bad Timothy Atuba was. We'll go to Mr. Ireland. What do you remember?
I hear that. I don't know anything about him, but I hear that joke from other Spurs friends as well, who say the same thing. Oh, remember Atuba? You know, like just this sort of memory of how bad he was. And so, he was with the club for a year, and surplus to requirements, barely played, obviously 18 games. Scored a goal though. I mean, 18 games, that's better than some players.
Before he turned up.
His goal island actually had about 58 stepovers in it against Newcastle. So
I got to see the highlight reel.
Oh, mate,
Timothy Atuba.
Rez and Kymba, what do you?
Well, he'll always have that Newcastle goal, won't he? I mean, there's that. It's interesting, just a side issue with my family. It's not so much the Tuba thing; it's Paolo Tramezzani in my family, the go-to player that you name. But yeah, he had the Newcastle goal. What else can you say about the man? He made 18 appearances.
Just unbelievable. I cannot believe that the club entrusted him with carrying out their objective on the pitch 18 times.
Just iconic.
Right? I thought that he was actually the lowest appearance number in this entire 120 player spread. No, I was there for the lowest.
Just listen, forget Ginola single-handedly making football sexy, right?
Timothy Atuba single-handedly made football
trombone shape.
Timothy Atuba is to Tottenham what Michael Bay is to Transformers.
Oh, good lord!
No, that's a bit harsh.
That is really harsh.
Timothy Atuba is to Tottenham what, I don't know, Alan Wirrell is to film directing.
Shall we move on?
Yeah.
I've got to say, I am going to be very quick with this, but if that's not starting to ask the people in the comments to say Timothy Atuba to football is fill in the blank. All I will say in my entire life of football, of supporting Spurs, I have nicknames for various people, but only 2 people have got the nickname FIFA. One is Benjamin Stamboli, because you remember when he used to push triangle for pace, and when you're running out of pace, he started slowing down. Well, that was Stamboli after he'd run fast for 2 yards, then he'd be knackered. Yeah. And you know when FIFA sometimes glitches and it just does weird things when you're standing still? That's Timothy Atuba. That's basically, he would do a step over when no one was near him. He would get the ball and do a step over before he started his run.
Make sure he can still do it. You know?
Mate, he perfected that. If there was a competition for golden step over of the season,
he'd earn it in a game.
Even playing 18 games, he would have won it for the next 3 years. That's all I've got to say. That's all I've got to say on Timothy Aduba. The next one, one of our own, likes to have his say and talk a lot on Talk Sport. Oh, these players that we're bringing out. Put up scouting and bringing up the youth. Jamie O'Hara, Ben.
I remember his first goal against Portsmouth, and that was a really good goal. It was a really good goal. But everything else was pretty awful, to be honest. It was pretty awful, Rez. It was pretty awful. It's pretty awful. I love him on TalkSport. On TalkSport, he's a great listen. I do like him. Look, Jamie O'Hara's best thing about his career is when he winds up Jason Cundy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
That we can all get on board with.
Yeah.
We can all get on board with him winding up Jason Cundy.
Yes.
And Jason Cundy, if you're watching, and I know you are, you're a
Yeah.
disgrace. You're a
Yes,
disgrace.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No, you are a disgrace to the word disgrace, Jason.
Yeah,
Right?
Jason Cundy.
Jason Cundy.
Jason Cundy.
Yeah.
Next time I see Andy Goldstein walking down my road because he lives in the same area as me, I'm going to give him the link of this video and we're going to send it to Jason Cundy.
Nice.
Just so he can know what we think of him.
We should just
And Jamie O'Hara.
Yeah.
No, you see, you're being really harsh on him because of what he did when he was on loan at Portsmouth. It might not have been the best thing, but I think he was a little bit sore that he'd been sent out because it is his boyhood club.
Yeah.
And since he is one of the other former players that does speak out,
Willing to speak out, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Against the regime.
So you gotta give him his
Yeah,
due
big up
for
yourself.
that. I didn't think he was terrible.
Won a trophy.
And he's won a trophy. I never thought he was
Jamie
awful.
O'Hara is a better player for Tottenham than Harry Kane.
He is.
Absolutely. That is fact. That's
fact.
undeniable.
That's right.
Mr.
No, I
Ireland.
mean I've got nothing against Jamie. I'm just going to finish my bit. I've got nothing against Jamie, right? He wasn't a terrible player by any means. You know, he definitely loves Tottenham. He loved the club. He still does. And yeah, the whole Jason Cundy wind-up thing definitely gives him a lot of credit in my bank because Cundy, you're just one letter away from what you are.
Wait. You see this, Cundy? You see this? These muscles, right? Watch yourself, son.
I'm not saying it. I didn't even specify the letter. All right?
Stop now, Rez. Stop.
Stop it. Ireland.
Yeah, I don't have much
you.
to add to it, really. I think he's hilarious. I like his position on most things. Sometimes he's over the top, but it's media. It's what you're supposed to do. As a player, I just started to watch Spurs properly when he was still in the team, and I had no issue with him. But I didn't probably see him enough to have a proper opinion. But I like him as a guy, and I have nothing bad to say about him. So,
All right, Daigle.
Jamie O'Hara scored a banger against West Ham, has won a trophy, has run his mouth about Daniel Levy when we were getting ready to protest before a 4-0 win at Crystal Palace, got told to calm it down by the club. He came out and told them that he had a phone call from the club. During the time down, she's flipped and flopped a lot.
a lot. It's been a bit
a lot. And I don't know if that's because he's been told to watch his P's and Q's. But when the time's needed, Jamie O'Hara will always come out and say it as it is. So big up, Jamie. And yeah, one of our own. And like you said, won a trophy.
He's a
So-
better
so-
footballer than Harry Kane. Fact.
Yeah. So if you're
Yeah.
watching
There you
this, Jamie, if you're watching this, keep up the Cundy baiting. We love it. And it's very easy because of the lack of brain, obviously.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah,
you know,
he's not the smartest tool in the shed.
Yeah.
And you tell him if he ever walks the mean
I
streets of
didn't realise
Hertfordshire,
he was being
we're properly hard, right?
Yeah, that's right.
I have to say, getting onto the final player, I did not realise we would take 29 minutes to speak about the previous four players. But here we go. The final player, the 120 whatever player we speak about, and I did love this guy, and it's good to end up on someone very, very positive. Let's talk about someone Ireland will know very, very well. Brad Friedel.
Everyone do it
take
really
it away.
quickly, like 2 seconds on each of us, and we'll be done. Now go
Go on, Ben.
There's only one word to say really about Brad Friedel, and it's legend. He's just a legend of football. He's a brilliant guy. I've had he used to live in Loughton back in the day. So when I was walking home, I used to see him walking around, usually go to Marks and Spencer's because he has a good choice in supermarkets, apparently. He's just a lovely bloke. Whenever you used to see Brad Friedel walking down the road as a Tottenham fan, you have a good chat with him. He's just a good bloke. And most importantly, as a goalkeeper, he was a phenomenal goalkeeper for Liverpool, for Blackburn, for Tottenham. One of the saves he made when he was a goalkeeper, he just took over from Aurelio Gomez, because Gomez was Gomez and he flapped a lot. But he made an unbelievable save in the North London derby that kept us in the game. He was a brilliant goalkeeper. He was a brilliant servant in the 50 game he had for us. Unfortunately, he had a young understudy that was going to come up and take that position in Mr. Hugo Lloris. So he probably could have had that position for many, many years to come. But unfortunately, the captain of France was calling that position.
On the door, yeah. Ben, wasn't he the oldest serving goalkeeper in the Premier League? I don't know, has that been bettered?
It's either him or Mark Schwarzer was one of the two of them. Yeah. It's one of the two of them. But Brad Friedel had the record number of appearances in a row. In a row. I think he had like 1,000 games in a row or something.
Yeah, 300 something.
Yeah, it was insane. It was insane.
It was idiotic how many games he played in a row. He was a phenomenal keeper. And massive respect to him. Massive respect. Legend of the game. Mr. Ireland, what do you remember of Brad Friedel?
Yeah, I mean, as a player, fantastic player. As a professional, like he was such a pro. Like if you're going to have a player on your team of that ilk, everything he did it with class. I was lucky enough to meet him when he came when Spurs came to Toronto. That would have been 10 years ago. Pochettino's first season, and Friedel was one of the people I got to meet and chatted with him briefly, but really wonderful guy. One fantastic servant to football in general, but to Spurs as well. Just really nothing bad to say about him. Coaching right now as well. I'm curious to see where his coaching career goes. I feel like he would be a coach you'd want to play for. He's got the attributes of that as well. Just really, really well spoken and a winner.
Well as well. One of the things whenever you saw Brad Friedel, he had the typical American dress of a Ralph Lauren jumper.
Yeah, very, very classic American for sure.
Classic. Like if you can imagine an American casual dresser, it was Brad Friedel. One
of the few Americans that have made it in European sport at the highest level and stayed there for as long as he did. There's not a lot of them that have done that. So kudos to. I love Friedel. I think he's a good actor.
There's a few of them. You can add like a couple, but we won't mention them because they play for scum clubs.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about it. I was talking about Friedel.
Friedel. What do you remember about Mr. Friedel?
Right. Well, I'll end it with a classic Daniel Levy story, which I'll.
Yeah, they haven't gone yet, so.
Okay.
You guys
do not nick my story.
I don't know. No, I do know your story. I'm just, to be honest, the only thing I've got to say about Friedel is that he's a good lad.
I can't remember.
He's a good lad. He's a good lad. Good on him. He did a job for us. Got that record, which I'm not sure it's been beaten, to be honest. Consecutive.
When's that going to get beaten? That's just an absurd record.
I think for a goalkeeper, Frank Lampard, I think holds the record for consecutive non-stop
outfield player. Yeah,
but that's outfield. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, he's a good lad. Yeah.
Yeah. Nothing more to add. Over to you, Bro.
So what I will say, I'll end with the Levy story. What better way to end of all the players with a classic Levy's a prick story in the build up to Christmas. And if I'm watching, Daniel, you're a prick. So where was I? Yeah, when he came and made his debut, he was meant to make his debut against Everton, but obviously it didn't happen because of the riots that were going on at Tottenham at that time. So his debut was a 3-0 defeat to Manchester United. I was watching it with my dad, and within 3 minutes, Man U got a corner. Corner came in, and I witnessed a Christmas miracle in August because we had a goalkeeper that could catch a corner.
Yeah.
And then
he's a
another
big man.
corner came in. Another corner came in.
Yeah.
And he caught 3 corners in a row. I mean, under the Gomez era, I didn't know that you could catch a corner. I thought you had to fist it or flutter it. Exactly. So that was wonderful. But listen, what a professional. I'm really annoyed with how his record was broken. Obviously, had a young Hugo Lloris, but AVB decided, you know what, I'm going to give you your debut and break Brad Friedel's record away at the filth, which we went on to lose 5-2. I mean, as any player at Tottenham, if I was manager, you are not getting your debut in a North London derby. There's just no way, silly, unless you're elite. And Brad Friedel, who back then, as you said, was Mr. Consistency, Mr. Dependable, to chuck him out, and then we go on to lose 5-2. But yeah, the story I was saying, why Daniel's a prick. We've all heard the story about Luka Modric, and when he asked for certain shirts, Daniel Levy paid Dynamo. I think it's Dynamo Zagreb. We got them from. They minus the prices of the kits that they'd sent out. Well, Brad Friedel was told this in his own words, and it's available on YouTube, that in his final season at the football club, it was his final season in English football. At the end of games, he started giving his kit out to fans as a memento. Yep. When he got his final paycheck, it was a few thousand short, and he went and asked the club, "Why is this a few thousand short?" Daniel Levy had charged him for all the kits he gave out.
Yeah,
that's the kind of pettiness and stupidness we have at this football club.
Just as a side issue, moving away from Brad Friedel, Daniel Levy and whatnot, there was something I saw today that apparently we are the most profitable football team in Premier League history now, officially. One of the journalists was saying it today.
There you go.
Well, there you go.
Fantastic. What a lovely joy. I look forward to seeing January for that.
And we haven't got no money to buy players.
Just one thing. Brad Friedel, actually, just for accuracy's sake, Brad Friedel is the player with the most consecutive PL starts. Lampard is the most of an outfield player, but it's actually less than Brad Friedel. And he's not actually first, he's second. Wayne Bridge actually has 1 start more than him.
Big up, Wayne.
There we go. There you
go. Well, listen, that brings an end to the Advent calendar parts. So I officially want to do this because I never want to wear one of these again. So let me just do that. It's done. Okay. Announcement. We have a bit of announcement. We've been waiting to announce. Tottenham on tour are promising to bring a lot in 2024, and just a hint against Daniel Levy in how you can get deals done before the window opens.
Yeah, correct.
Tottenham on tour have already made their first signing of the season.
Yeah.
And
two
first signings, double. This club, the football club, is known for double signings. Ireland and Ben, we've made a double signing. I think the 2 people in the top right-hand corner, who may be the top left-hand corner where you're watching it, but the screen where there's 2 people, and now we're changing their positions. Rez and Kymba, welcome to Tottenham on Tour.
Big up yourself.
Hello.
Thanks for having us.
Yes, thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. I'd like to thank my parents, producers, obviously, Jesus.
I'm sorry about him.
Yes. It's good to be here. It's good to be here.
Well, he's been pretty poor for Arsenal, so we're glad he's still there. You know,
Yes, that's true. Absolutely. So yes, it's going to be a lot of fun. There's going to be content coming out. There's going to be like new things.
Yes.
We're very much fun. That's right. We're very much, as you can tell, we're very much fun people.
Yeah, we are.
Nice.
So the main thing to say about it is obviously you were part of a channel that was known for its Thursday night content.
Yep.
And now you've got your show starting every Thursday night coming in the new year. What's it going to be about, Rez?
It's I think part of it is going to be an analysis of the Corn Laws and their impact on 18th century Europe. We're going to look at the South Sea bubble,
Make sure you
crop rotation in sub-Saharan African countries. Very, very much relevant to Tottenham on tour, I think. So look out for riveting content of that nature.
It's going to be fun.
It's going to be fun. As you can see, we're fun people.
And for the first time in the history of Spurs YouTube, Kim, Rez, and I are on the same YouTube channel.
That's true. That's true. It's true. It's true. I'm afraid that the universe might implode now.
We're going to implode.
Yes.
So listen. What I will say is, watch out for loads of new things happening in 2024. We are
Tottenham
up in our
tour
game.
24.
Up in our game
Looking forward to
in every single way. I just want to thank everyone for 24 days, everyone that's come on. Ben, my co-host for every single time. I will say, Christmas. You're watching this Christmas Eve. Obviously, Merry Christmas, everyone, and also we'll be doing a Christmas Day cockerel doodle do for a couple of hours and having some fun on Christmas Day, won't we, Ben?
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you to everyone for watching this series. Christmas is now officially over in my book. I don't care about Christmas.
It hasn't even started.
Hasn't even started.
It hasn't even started. But we're bringing back the usual catchphrase. If you smell what the cough is brewing, but most importantly, have a wonderful Christmas, a very happy New Year.
Merry Christmas.
And as always,
Levy out. Oh, it feels so good saying.
Tottenham Talk.